They told him he had 5 good years left. That was 15 years ago. He's still standing, still speaking, still living. This is Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. A podcast about what happens when life throws you something incurable, and you fight back anyway. Hosted by Bryce Perry. Diagnosed at 40, 15 years into the battle. This is the truth behind the tremor. Let's begin.
Have you ever felt like your body has a mind of its own? Because I have. I remember standing up at a restaurant and suddenly the floor felt far away. I wasn't dizzy, I was unplugged, like someone had hit the reset button on my body and forgot to tell me. Everyone else was zipping up their coats and chatting about dessert, and I was gripping the table, trying to keep my legs from giving out. I felt embarrassed, I felt confused, and mostly I felt alone. That was Parkinson's too. But I didn't know it yet. It's called autonomic dysfunction, and it affects more than 80% of us living with Parkinson's. And yet no one talks about it. I didn't hear about it when I was diagnosed. I didn't read about it in the pamphlets, but it showed up anyway. And these symptoms, they don't shake or shuffle, they whisper. But they mess with your life in big, loud ways, like sudden blood pressure crashes, or urgency, or bladder accidents, chronic constipation, dripping sweat while everyone else is freezing, or freezing while everyone else wears t-shirts. And yes, even intimacy issues that no one wants to admit. But these symptoms are invisible, but they're very real. So if you've ever found yourself thinking, is this Parkinson's or is it just me? You're really not alone. Share your story below because today we're shining the light on what's been hiding in the dark.
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Well, welcome to the channel and a big thanks, a big shout out to my loyal viewers and thanks for coming back. And if you're new here, my name is Bryce and this is Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. This channel is here to provide strength, hope, and support to people living with Parkinson's and to caregivers who love them. So I share real talk, raw stories, and sometimes a little humor because we need it. And if that sounds like something in that kind of community that you're looking for, then hit the subscribe button and come on with us. We've got a lot to talk about today and in the future. But today we're talking about the Parkinson's symptoms that nobody talks about, but we feel them anyway, right? Autonomic symptoms affect your autonomic nervous system, the part of your body that runs the behind-the-scenes show. It keeps your heart beating in rhythm. It tells your blood vessels what to do. It manages your digestion, your bladder, your body temperature, and even your sexual response. Basically, it's the stuff that you're not supposed to think about until it stops working right. When Parkinson's affects this system, things start to fall out of sync quietly, but powerfully. These are the non-motor symptoms, and they are so often overlooked. For example, the orthostatic hypertension. Like for me, the blood pressure drops were sneaky at first. One day it was a lightheaded moment at the grocery store, and the next I'm leaning on the soup display like I'm deeply moved by tomato bisque. It's a tough one. It sneaks up on you. Then there's constipation. I spent years blaming food. Tried fiber, water, smoothies, you name it, but it wasn't just digestion. It was a slowdown of my entire system. And once I understood that it was Parkinson's, then I could stop blaming myself. Then there is bladder issues. Now, when I go anywhere, my internal GPS isn't set to have fun. It's set to the nearest bathroom. And yes, I pretended to be on a phone call just to cut to the front of the public restroom lines. Desperate times call for desperate measures sometimes. Then there's the excessive sweating. Have you ever sweat so much that you wonder if someone will ask you if you're okay? Well, I have had shirts stuck to my back by 9:30 a.m. Meanwhile, Carmen's wrapped up in a cozy sweater saying, it's kind of cold in here. Wild. And then there's sexual dysfunction. Let's talk about it because it matters. And not because it's performance, but because it's connection. Now, this disease messes with confidence, desire, physical response. It's hard to talk about it, But you're not the only one navigating this, and you're not alone. And just a heads up, the next episode, yeah, we're going there. We're going deep and we're going there, and I don't want you to miss it. It's going to be one for the ages. So, check that out for sure. Now, these symptoms, they don't just show up in your gait, they don't make your hand shake. They're internal, right? Often embarrassing to bring up. So, most of us stay silent. Doctors sometimes don't ask, and we end up managing in the dark. But here's the thing, these symptoms matter to your quality of life. They're real, they're common, and they deserve answers. So, here are a few questions that you might bring up at your next doctor visit. Could my dizziness when standing be Parkinson's related? What about this? What can I do about bladder urgency or accidents? Or, I'm having trouble regulating my temperature. Why? Is it my medication contributing to these symptoms? Those are the type of questions. Those are the type of things, if you're dealing with this, that you need to bring up to your doctor. And again, how do you remember everything when you only see them once every 6 months, if that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Track your symptoms. Do them for a week. Make sure at least a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a month. Write them down and make sure that you paint a very clear picture of what you're going through, how often you're going through, and what it was like. So if you're not sure what to say, you can say stuff like, I've been experiencing some non-motor symptoms, and I think they might be connected to Parkinson's, and can we talk about that? That one sentence can open up a whole new level of care. Trust me, you want personalized care, and your health team, your doctors can't help you unless you really go there. And a lot of times you have to be the one to initiate it and go there. So I'm going to give you a few tools and some tricks that I picked up over the years. Okay, some are from experience and some are just from my amazing community. Okay, and here's some things that'll help. Number one, compression socks. They help with dizziness and blood flow. I know, not the sexiest things in the world to wear, but guess what? If you're dealing with dizziness, try it. You got to try it, okay? Another trick or tip, salt or electrolyte boosts. With doctor's approval, they can really stabilize the pressure inside, right? Hydration. I know it seems simple, but really it's a game changer. You have to stay hydrated. You have to be that person carrying the water bottle around everywhere you go. I mean it. You'd have to do it, and you have to get used to it. Bathroom mapping. Okay, so I literally plan outings around bathroom access, and there's no shame in that. So make sure if you're going out, if you're in a new place, make sure you check where those bathrooms are so that just in case, if you have to make a run, you know where you're going. So again, plan ahead, think ahead. It'll save those embarrassing moments down the road. Here's another thing, cooling towels or sweat wicking fabrics, right? They are huge for overheating. So make sure, dress light and wear things that absorb the heat and the sweat rather than wearing things that are going to make it come out even better, bigger, or stronger. Okay, so that's very, very important. Okay, how about this? Timed voiding, right? Going before you need to can help avoid urgency. Okay, so time voiding is what I call it. I don't know if that's a word or Bryceism, but timed voiding. So, you know what? Just because I don't feel like it, especially if if I'm traveling, if I'm in the airport and I'm about to get on the plane and I'm like, I don't have to go to the restroom. Guess what? I go to the restroom, and 90 times out of 10, I can probably get a little out, right? You can make it happen, but make sure you kind of do that. Go before you need to, and that can help with the urgency, avoiding the urgency. And then, meds, like there's some things like I can't spell, you know me, if you're a regular here, you know me, I'm not going to pronounce these properly, but there's things like, I think it's called fluoridazone, right? Or a mitodrin, right? And they can help, but only with the right specialist advice. So you have to ask your doctor. If it's things that you're trying, these little hacks and tricks, and they're not working, ask your doctor if there's something you can take to help with it. Now, these aren't cures, but they do make daily life a bit easier. And you know what? Sometimes that's everything. Aren't we looking for our daily life to get easier? I mean, don't we have enough to deal with? So again, just think this through. They're small, easy, actionable, quick steps, right? But they're important, so important to you living that best life that you can with Parkinson's, right? Now, you might not be able to see these symptoms in the mirror, but if they're disrupting your life, then they're worth talking about. And if you've ever felt alone in this part of your Parkinson's journey, I hope today reminded you that you're not. You're not alone. Here's what I want you to do. Comment below. What symptom surprised you the most? What helps you cope with it? And what do you wish someone would have told you sooner? And if you want a place to have these conversations off of YouTube, right, and a little bit more private, please check out the Inner Circle. It's our private community where people with Parkinson's and their caregivers can share, vent, laugh, learn, and belong. It's confidential and it's judgment-free. And best of all, it's just real. And if you are absolutely welcome there. There's a link in the description below. Now listen, you're not weak for struggling with invisible symptoms. You're not overreacting. You're simply living with Parkinson's and doing the best that you can. All right? So let's keep showing up. Let's keep talking about the hard stuff. And let's keep doing life today.
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.